Get started. So once again, super welcome. I am very excited. I love teaching chair yoga. I love my chair yogis. So a very warm welcome. As always, wiggle around. So adjust what you need to adjust to to feel that you arrive, that you're about to start your practice, and this is part of your practice already. Make sure your feet are nicely planted on the floor so they don't have to be super parallel or look like mine. Can be a little bit wider, maybe the feet even turned out to the side. But just notice how you are placing your feet. You want to create a sensation of rooting through your feet, or at least experiencing your feet. Sitting bones, equally balanced. Spine nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Head is balancing on the spine. And affirm that you practice towards your own well-being, for your own pleasure, for your health. Not only to be stronger, but to live stronger in this world. And strength has a fluidity to it. It has an adaptability, a resilience. And that's what we cultivate. Notice the sounds around you. Get used to the sound of my voice. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, you're more than welcome to close your eyes. Maybe by closing your eyes you hear differently. You begin to feel differently, maybe picking up subtle nuances. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, lower your gaze. Let your gaze be soft. Just letting the eyelids gently lower. And within this river of sounds, notice the air on your skin. Or maybe you can feel that sensation of air meeting skin, skin meeting air. Notice where you feel this most predominantly. Welcome to everybody that is still joining. Maybe you can draw your attention to those places where you're not quite connected to yet. Maybe underneath the armpits, the inner thighs, maybe the back of your neck or the nostrils. And you can stay here for a while with a sensation of air on your skin, your body in space. You can also begin to draw your attention towards this air entering the body. Noticing how air becomes breath. That rhythmic in and out of your inhale and your exhale. A natural pulsation. If you feel the breath is a little bit strained, see if you can relax, maybe around the torso, the shoulders, the throat. Maybe move your jaw around a little bit to your pelvis. And by movement, maybe you can relax, or through movement, allowing the breath to drop in, to flow out comfortably, effortlessly. Place your hands on your low ribs or on your sides. And begin to notice if you can guide your breath into the hands or into your hands, feeling the rise and the fall of your ribcage. So catching the lower ribs, they where the ribs and the diaphragm meet, more to the side than the front. This is an uncomfortable position for your arms. If you feel it straining in the shoulders or the neck, you can wrap your arms around your waist, or even place one hand in front, one to the back. Noticing that pulsation of the rib cage, that in and out, underneath your hands. A few more breaths, just feeling into your body. Maybe you can initiate this movement from the inside. Maybe the tactile sensation, the feeling through the arms or the hands is the strongest. Maintain contact with your breath. And you may have different ways of maintaining that contact, that conversation. We'll start with a gentle twist. So turning your belly to the left. Notice if you can still feel your ribcage moving. It's very subtle. You're not trying to increase the movement, just direct the movement, direct the attention to the sides of the low ribs. And back to center, change, belly towards the right. And coming back to center, we'll keep on twisting from side to side. Just moving the torso side to side. And the next time you rotate it towards the right, hold it there. So you can use your arms to steer the twist. Coming back to center and change. All the while noticing the movement of your rib cage or the breath within the body. Come back to center. We'll start with 3 sun salutations. If you've taken my classes before, my chair yoga classes will follow the same sequence. If you're new to them, they're pretty similar to standing salutations. The arms are relaxed by your side, palms facing inward. A nice tall spine sitting down into the hips. Tall mountain, the arms move forward and up. Keep sitting down as you reach, as you lengthen. Allow your shoulder blades to slide and glide up towards the direction of your hands. The neck is relaxed, the eyes looking over the horizon, whether they are open or closed. When you're ready, into a forward fold, keep sitting down, bend your elbows so you fold your arms over your thighs, and then breathe into your back ribs. So there's that sensation of sitting down and still lifting up the front body into the back. And this comes from accessing the fluid body. That pulsation, that flow. Your spine is rounded, so we're coming into a neutral spine again, a half lift. I take my palms forward and up, very similar to a Sphinx pose. You can place your hands on your knees as you come up halfway. Back into your forward fold, fold over your arms. If you feel you resting in your arms, create that sense of lift, pressing to your feet, generate some muscular energy and take that into the torso, into the ribs, so there's space for your breath. Or relax the arms, pushing to your feet and roll up into your seat. So back into your mountain pose. Take a moment, let your body assess that which is new. Give it a moment just to feel whatever arises. Arms by the side, tall mountain. You're welcome to look up as you reach up into your forward fold. This forward fold has a sense of puffiness to it, as if you're floating up like a plastic bag catching the wind. Into your half lift. See if you can find a neutral spine, engaging the muscles in the back body. A forward fold, hands over your thighs. And then rolling up. A tall mountain. A forward fold. A half lift. Into your forward fold. Relaxing the arms, pushing to your feet. Nice steady seat as you roll up. Shoulders nice and broad. Hands can be on your thighs. Give yourself a moment. Just a moment to feel the sensations, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. As the soul wakes up. Slide yourself a little bit forward on your seat. The feet a little bit wider apart. Again, if your toes are facing out in line with your knees, perfectly fine. And begin to windshield wiper your legs. So hold on to your chair If you're seated on the floor, you can have your hands behind you. So again, this works perfectly from the floor. Windshield wipering the legs from standing could be look a little different. And as you windshield, notice the one leg is turning inward as the other one is turning out. So internal rotation, external. Or maybe you can focus on that movement in the hip joint. And then lift your hands off your seat if you can. So maybe you need to adjust your seat. And remember, if you have arm rests, your movements are going to be different. There's a boundary there. So you work within that boundary. The arms are lifted. The knees still go from side to side. And then we move the arms in the opposite direction. So the arms and the legs in opposite direction. And take your head the same direction as your knees. Side to side. And you can speed it up. And that swishing sound is the sound of my windshield wipers. And you can slow it down. And you can even hold it. So play with a different tempo. If you're particular about balancing the sides out, balance the sides out. Come back to center. Allowing your body to find center. Feel the aliveness around the hips, the torso, the whole body is bright. Place your hands, palms facing in to the insides of your knees. You can widen your knees a little bit. You're just going to pulse from side to side. So again, rotation of the spine. Notice how your ribs are moving. You can slow it down. You can linger on one side or the other. You can also add a bit of pizzazz, so maybe more of a beat, more organic, fluid-like. Keep rotating, whether faster or slower, and move your body down towards your feet. So reaching for your feet as you rotate. Again, it can have this beautiful linear, organized quality to it, or a little bit more free. A little bit more organic. Maybe to the rhythm of your heart or a song in your heart. And then we're going to come up again towards the knee. And then keep lifting the arms until they're about shoulder height. You can slow it down. You can linger. Or you can pulse. Notice how that affects your energy, your mood, your sense of clarity and vitality. Again, if you are particular about balancing the sides out, do so. Come back to center. Give yourself a moment. And this moment is to savor, to notice, to tap into this experience. Those of you who has joined, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tall mountain. Sit down, reach up, forward fold. A half lift, finding what feels like neutral. You can fold forward over your arms again, or over your thighs, or in between your thighs. Relax your arms and roll up. One more, tall mountain. Sitting down, reaching up, broadening the rib cage, forward fold. A half lift when you're ready. Into your forward fold. If you're taking the forward fold a little deeper. Again, you know your body. You know if you need to avoid pressure around the eyes or the head. You know, if your blood pressure is low, maybe this up and down could be tricky. So please regulate your practice. And then we roll up. And once you're seated, hold your right wrist, or the left, we'll do both. Make a fist, so you're holding your wrist to stabilize your lower arm. And just move your wrist from side to side. So if I lift it up, I can show you. It moves from side to side. And then forward and back. So I'm still holding my forearm, so I don't move my forearm. I isolate the wrist, and maybe you can circle that wrist, and then we go to the other side. So I'm just holding it in front of me, side to side. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the eyes, and then up and down. And around, circles. And circles become tricky. We want to move the arm, the forearm. It's natural for the body to move in unison, to recruit all the systems, all the parts. Going to open the palms, close them nice and tight. Open the hands, so the fingers are neutral. So imagine your neutral spine, neutral fingers, and then extend them, stretch them out. Come back to neutral, the fingers neutral, a fist. So think of this maybe as a forward fold, a half lift, and then maybe a back bend. Neutral. Folding in, actual extensions, a nice tall spine, or maybe a back bend with the fingers. Flash your fingers. Good, relax the hands, lift your shoulders and push them down. We're working towards a pose called eagle pose. For those of you that like to have a goal, shoulders up and down, keep them down and move them forward and move them back. Notice what happens in your rib cage, your pelvis as you move your shoulders forward and back. Lift them up again and move them forward and back, forward and back. Relax the shoulders, bring your hands to your shoulders and rotate your arms forward. So swimming movements, you feel now the shoulder blades are just dancing on your back. Reverse those circles, swimming, backstroke. Good, and now alternate, so one forward, one back. That clicking sound is the clicking of my shoulders. And then we change, other shoulder forward, other shoulder back. Good, and then we'll just shake it out. Shake the hands, maybe the shoulders, the chest, the hips, the legs. Good, into a sun salutation. Tall mountain. Forward fold, you're welcome to fold in between your thighs or over your thighs. A half lift. When you're ready, a forward fold. And then roll up into your seat. We'll add an arm variation, tall mountain. Cactus arms, drawing the arms out to the side. Feel your shoulder blades sliding together. Tall mountain, forward fold. A half lift. A forward fold. Rolling up into your seat. Tall mountain. And then opening the arms, cactus arms, and hold it. So from the side, we moved from tall mountain, cactus arms, maybe lean forward a little bit, shifting to the front of your shoulder, sitting bones, and curl your chest to the sky. Then bowing forward, bring your forearms together or towards each other, folding forward. Opening up, cactus arms, turn it into a bit of a back bend or a back extension. Roll to the front of your sitting bones. Lift your heart, lift your chest. If you feel that you're popping out your ribcage, so your ribs just jumped forward, bring your ribs and your hip bones towards each other in a considered way. So you don't lose your back bend, but the ribs are not just flying out in space. There's a sense of inner connection. Connection to your core, to your center, and fold forward. And one more, opening up. Back bend, and come to neutral, tall mountain. Take your right arm behind you into a twist, so the right arm spins, belly towards the right. Bring your left hand to your right knee, your backhand, your right hand sweeps back forward, crosses your midline, catching your left knee. Hold on to your knees and draw your waistline back. Come back forward with a neutral spine and float your arms up. So here you can decide if you want to bring your hands to your shoulders. If you have the mobility, the backs of the palms together, the arms are still crossed over. Lift your shoulders a little bit. A nice tall spine, the hips are sitting down. Bow your forehead towards your arms. You can stay there or bow forward over your legs. Uncross your eagle arms as you come back into, so as you lengthen your spine, catching your knees. So we'll just reverse this little sequence. Take your right arm all the way overhead, back behind you. You'll be in a twist. And then both arms forward and up into your tall mountain. If that just felt like we tied our brains into a knot, we'll repeat it. So the left arm spins back from your tall mountain. Left arm spins back. You'll be in a twist. Bring your front hand to your left knee, so the right hand to the left knee or the opposite knee. Take your back hand, it's my left arm, all the way across the sky, cross your midline and catch your opposite knee. Draw back into your waistline, in between your shoulder blades. And then come to what feels like a neutral spine or a half lift maybe, and float your arms up. Bring your hands towards your shoulders so you feel a parting of the shoulder blades moving towards the side of the body. Eagle arms, if that's available to you, the backs of the hands touch. You can lift your elbows a little bit and bow your forehead towards your arms. And you can bow all the way forward into a forward fold. And then we come back into our seat. Undo the arms, catch the knees. Neutral spine into your twist, so the top arm lifts, opens back into your twist. Both arms come forward and up, and you're in your tall mountain. Good, let's do that again. The right hand moves behind you into a twist. Place your left hand to your right knee. The back hand circles across the sky, crosses over. You round it into your back body. Come into a neutral spine and float your arms up, eagle arms. So that could be just crossing or placing your hands on your shoulders, or bringing the backs of your hands together. Lifting the elbows, bowing the head. You're welcome to fold forward. We roll up, opening the hands, catching the knees. A neutral spine as you spin your right hand behind you into a twist. Both arms forward and up. Moving into the left side. Left arm behind you. You'll be in a twist. Right hand to left knee. Crossing that back hand over the sky. Cross your midline and catch your opposite knee. Bow forward. Neutral spine, float your arms up, eagle arms. You can catch your elbows or bring the backs of your hands together. Bow your head. You can bow forward. And then lifting your spine, so catch your knees again. The arms are still crossed over. Float your arms up, or float your left arm up at least. Sorry, we'll move into the twist. And then both arms forward and up. And hands come down towards your heart if you like, or all the way down to your thighs. Give yourself a moment again just to tap in to whatever arises. Just notice. That simple practice of savoring. Those of you that joined the yin class or will still watch the yin class, we talked about savoring. Relax your hands to your thighs if they're not. Widen your feet a little bit. So try and parallel your feet. So the toes, there's this cue, the knee to the points towards the middle of the second and the third toe. Something like that. So it feels as if your feet are parallel. And then let your knees move towards each other. So internal rotation. Good. And just notice what happens in the hips. Maybe you have space for a little bit more rotation. Maybe by scooting forward you can even access a little bit more. So if your feet pivot onto the knife edges, that's fine. You can keep your feet flat, it's a different sensation. Maybe try both. So I have a block. You might have a book or a little pillow with you. If you don't, that's fine because you use your hands, your fists. So I'm going to use the block. Place it in between my knees and squeeze. Let that squeezing lift your spine. Let that squeezing create space in your pelvic floor. So it's not a squeezing together of the sitting bones. It's a squeezing inward without losing space. It adds to that sense of lift. If you haven't got a block, squeeze your fists. So we've done the eagle arms, we're moving to the eagle legs. And then relax. Place your hands to the outsides of your knees and press your knees together while pushing your knees apart. And you can be quite determined about this, so really pushing. And keep your jaw relaxed, your breath smooth, sensation of inner lift and lightness. And then relax. Good. Maybe you want to just feel that, savor that. Maybe move your hips a little. Good, and then one of my favorite chair yoga poses, no pun intended, I can do, is chair pose. So, we're going to hover, it's called hovering chair. And chair pose is called Utkatasana, which translates as fierce pose. So we're going to tap into that inherent fierceness, that Shakti, and hover without standing up. So place your feet well. Place your hands on your legs as if you're going to use your arms to help you to stand up. So you're going to press into your legs. Then lean forward and begin to stand up, but don't. So your hips are not leaving your chair. You can feel there's a transference of weight. You're just about standing up, but you're not. So your hands can be pushing into your thighs, maybe even the upper thighs. So there's a pushing down and a preparation to stand up, but don't. And then sit back down. And we'll do that again. So you can use the support of your hands. In fact, you can press down into the thighs, into the legs, wherever you feel you get a good pressing down. And then lean forward, prepare your feet. You are not standing up, but it's as if you are. It's as if you were going to get the door, but then you're not sure, and now you're just hovering. So this in between, this liminal space. Maybe you can feel the work. Good. Hold it. You need to sit down, sit down. Yeehaw. Good, 2 more, this time with our arms in front of us, so as if you're going to draw yourself forward. Reach your arms forward. You can lean forward because you're about to stand up, but you're not. So you're just hovering. Just hovering. If you're arching your back excessively, see if you can find a neutral spine. So your sitting bones are still reaching towards your chair. Your thighs or some part of your back is still back seat. Your glutes, your butt is still touching your chair. You're just hovering. And you can hear in my breath, I'm hovering. And sit back down. Yeah, 1 more. Okay. Don't have to. Can if you want. So, leaning forward, arms extended, and don't lift off, almost lift off. Just reaching. Noticing your inner determination. Noticing your inner strength. Your ability to be in an uncomfortable place. And when you're ready, you'll just relax back down into your chair. Just check how we're doing for time. And then we're ready for our eagle pose. Good. So if you want to shake your legs a little, do. And then bring your right leg over your left. So if this is not available, if you simply cannot sit like this, there might be several reasons why not. You'll just cross your ankles. You can cross your legs at the shins. If crossing at all is not an option, you can flip your feet in. So maintaining this internal angle, you can place your feet flat. So however your legs are, you have your eagle legs. The right leg, so opposite arm, opposite leg. Take your arms over the side, a nice tall mountain with your eagle legs. And bringing the opposite arm, so the left arm underneath the right, and here you can catch your shoulders. Or you can bring the backs of the hands together. For those of you that are familiar with eagle pose from your asana practice, you can interlace your ankles. We didn't really warm up the ankles at all, so don't force it. You can also interlace your wrists. Good. So you're in your eagle pose. For those of you that want to, lean forward a little bit and press into your standing leg. So your standing leg would be the bottom leg. as if you're going to stand up, as if you're going to take flight. If just tying yourself in all of these knots is enough, that's where you stay. You don't need to lift off. And then we'll slowly release back into your chair, the arms, the legs, and maybe just sit for a moment. The after effects of a pose very often tells us if we maybe went too far, pushed too hard, or if we maybe didn't engage, or just went through the motions mindlessly. There's a lot to learn from just noticing the after effects of a pose. And then we'll change. So left leg over the right. Again, there's different ways of holding your legs. And it will still be eagle pose, and it will still be eagle legs. So I'm crossing my left over my right. I know I have a lot of ankle mobility, so I'm going to wrap my ankles. Arms out to the side, all the way overhead. I'm bringing the right arm underneath the left. You can catch your shoulders. You can catch your shoulders. Bring the backs of the hands together. If it's available to you, you will interlace your wrists. Good, and you're in your eagle. I know there's variations, so different ways of holding your spine. Again, it's your practice. If you want to add a bit of fire, you can ground through your standing leg, lean forward a little bit, and then imagine you hovering. You are pushing into that standing leg enough to create quite a bit of muscular energy, which will eventually push you into a balancing pose. You can if you want, but for now we're just still in touch with our chair. Maybe you can notice how you're breathing, what happened to that beautiful pulsation around the ribs. The softness around your mouth and your eyes, a sense of fluidity. And then we slowly release. And give yourself a moment. That was eagle pose, Garundasana, golden eagle. Take your arms forward and up. You can swing them back first. I like to do that. All the way overhead into your tall mountain. Nice long spine, and then pull your elbows down, goddess or cactus arms. Keep your ribs and your hip bones talking, but begin to rock forward, sliding your shoulder blades together, back extension, a back bend. You can stay there or interlace your fingers behind your back, maybe lean forward a little bit more and extend your arms. You can stay here or fold forward over your legs. If you fold it forward, you'll roll back into your seat, so lifting the torso. Release your arms back into cactus arms. And relax the hands to the thighs. And that sound of water flowing is my cat Yoki drinking water. Don't know if the microphone picks that up, but that's what it is. Placing your hands behind you, scoot your hips forward. Roll your shoulders more broad than back. So instead of pulling them back and your chest forward, see if you can just broaden your chest a little bit. So a nice broad chest, shoulder blades towards each other. Begin to lift your chest. You can keep your chin forward. You can bring your head back. Keep lifting through your chin. You can stay here or you can press into your feet. Make sure you have a stable position so you're not going to push your chair out from underneath you. You're going to scoot forward. Press into your legs, coming into a reverse table. And slowly lower your seat. Sit nice and tall. So because we, well, I don't know why we can't, I didn't think about it to be quite honest, to take Savasana. So I was going to close with a seated meditation, but for those of you, you have time to come into Savasana. If you don't want to lie down on the floor, if lying down on the floor and getting up is tricky for you, maybe you can lean back into your chair. The legs comfortable, so just let them relax. I don't have a, whatever you call this, a backrest. So I'm going to lean against the wall, extending the legs. So I need to adjust my hair. Taking a position of relaxation. If you're comfortable with seated meditation and you are fine with sitting upright in your chair, then that is an option. And again, if you want to lie down on your mat, that's an option too. But for the next few minutes, however you're seated or lying down, go back to noticing the air on your skin. And I cannot remember where I heard the phrase ocean of air first. I know I heard it and then I read it somewhere. I imagine my body in this ocean of air. And it gives me a great sense of comfort. It makes me feel as if I'm sinking into, floating into clouds. As if I'm being held by space itself. That within this ocean of air we don't need to be spacey or frazzled. There is a sense of containment, a sense of being hugged and hugging in, being held and of holding. If you like, you can place your hands back onto your ribs. Just feel the movement of the ribcage as it moves out to the side. Maybe you can feel it in your back body. If you're lying down, you might feel that pressure of your ribs, your back ribs, into your mat or the surface you're lying on. Maybe you feel it into the back of your chair. If you're leaning against the wall, maybe into the wall. Maybe you can just feel it, feel the sensation in your back body, in the side bodies. If you are lying down and you want to close the practice with us, you are welcome to come into a seat. You are also more than welcome to stay lying down. You can also continue your meditation. So I would like to bring my hands to my heart. And thank you for being here and for this moment of connection. So Jai Bhagwan, and have a beautiful day. Thank you. I almost don't want to say goodbye, but I will. Have a lovely day.